everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tanya, and if you're stopping by for the first time, welcome. I hope you'll consider subscribing, hit the notification bell so you are notified every time I upload a video. And if you're not stopping by for the first time, thank you so much for your support. Today's video is another collab video, and this collab video is with a fellow Aussie YouTuber. And let's just stop because she is my latest YouTube crush, and I say that without any creepiness. Sorry, Dayle. I bet you didn't see that one coming. Anyway, so I just recently learned about Dayle. I think she sort of popped up on my radar, so to speak, in the last 3 months or so, and she is just going gangbusters. So if you're not familiar with Dayle, and I'm sure you are, head over to her channel, give her a like and a subscribe, because why not? And if you're new to my channel from having come from Dayle, thank you so much for stopping by. So today's collaboration will be an Aussie Luxe collaboration. So while we here in the Luxe community always rave about the beautiful brands and the design houses that we love from international shores, let's say, we in Australia also have our own equivalent Luxe. So what we thought we'd do was celebrate some of our Australian luxury labels, and they range from a variety of homewares through to clothing, through to leather goods. And we wanted to share them with you and sort of bring some of the world's attention to our own luxury creators. So if you're interested in hearing who our luxury creators are, stick around, and stick around through to the end of the video too, because at the very end, both Dayle and I will provide a list of about 5 or so retailers where you could buy pre-loved luxury items in Australia and new luxury items. So if you're interested, and I'm sure you will be, and I hope you are, please stick around. First point that I'm going to discuss, and forgive me while I look down in my British luxury piece. My first option is skincare. Now, when I chose to bring to your attention Australian skincare, I had something very specific in mind. And this is a product and a brand that I've been using for this past nearly 1 year. And that is this brand here, which is Melbourne based and what I'm very, very proud of. And this brand here is called Violette. Now, Violette is a company that's recently been established, and they make sunscreen, but they don't actually refer to it as sunscreen. They are very clever. They refer to it as skinscreen, and their products have combined skincare and sunscreen. So the founders were Ava Matthews, Beck Jefford. They combined the two, as I said, sunscreen and skincare. They're Melbourne based. This was only available from their website, which I'll have listed here and down below, of course. But now it's sort of growing in popularity. People are becoming more and more familiar with it. And I have to say that since I started using their skincare and their skin screen, I have not looked back. I love it. It just offers that little bit more. Just applying it, smelling it, it just has that element of luxe to it, if you know what I mean. My second item along is jewelry, Australian jewelry. I haven't focused on fine jewelry because I know Dayle's got that one, but I'm going to look at costume jewelry. Christie Nicolaides. Now, Christie makes the most beautiful, ornate, vibrant, exuberant, decadent, and simple pieces that you've probably come across. Now, she tends to combine, she has a fusion between her cultural heritage, which is Greek, and, you know, a flair for design. You know, her artistic upbringing, her Greek heritage, her love of antiques and vintage runway jewelry is all combined in the pieces that she creates. I'm yet to purchase some of Christie's work, but I know that I will. And as you know, those of you who follow me, you know I'm a sucker for an awesome earring. So I will be purchasing some earrings from her. But if you just scroll through, and I'll have something showing here, she does really create and put together beautiful pieces that are striking. They tend to be almost ornate and celebratory, but then at the same time, depending on your personality, you could wear them anytime. So Christie Nicolaides, it's a fusion of art, fashion, and culture. Her jewelry ranges from beautiful crowns through to earrings, to necklaces and rings. Everything is handcrafted. She uses a variety of precious and semi-precious stones, and very much her style is a European bohemian glamour. So that, of course, appeals to me a lot. So if you're interested in some costume jewelry, well-made costume jewelry, look into Christie Nicolaides. Third category for me was leather goods, Australian leather goods. Now, you have heard me speak about a brand called Oriton. I am very much an advocate for Oriton. It's interesting because I used to love Oriton many years ago, and Oriton has been around for quite some time here in Australia. From memory, it was established in 1938. So it's been in Australia for quite some time. People are aware of Oriton. A little while ago, I became a little bit of a bag snob. I'm not going to lie. So I stopped buying Oriton. But you know what? I'm looking at Oriton again. I'm really considering them. They make beautiful leather pieces. They have leather pieces, SLGs, small leather goods, for those of you who are not familiar with that acronym. They make beautiful bags, large and small, crossbodies, woks. They have accessories. They have ready to wear. Oriton is one of those brands, I would say, and as I've said before, the equivalent would be Coach in the US and maybe Henry Bendel before it shut down. But Oriton quality is lovely. So if you're interested in exploring some Australian leather goods, look into Oriton. I'll have the website linked here and below. Oriton initially started as an importer of luxury textiles from Europe. And then they started creating some of their own, let's say, handbags. And in the early days, they created a lot of these mesh style bags. So there is another Australian brand called Glow Mesh, which is really having quite a resurgence in all honesty. But Oriton made a lot of these styles. And this is a vintage Oriton, you know, metallic mesh piece. But soon after this, while there was a demand for this in the 60s, the 70s, from about the 80s onwards, Oriton really looked into producing their own leather goods. Now, I've had quite a few Oriton wallets and bags. I did sell those earlier in the piece when I was saving to buy some other luxury pieces. But the current Oriton bag I have is this one here, which is the Duo Small Tote. And I have shown this on my channel. I've done a reveal of it and a review of it. They make small leather goods, they make card holders, they have these type of little things as well. So this is the Atlas clutch, and I have a review of this coming up very soon. So Oriton is one of those great brands that encompasses many options to suit different audiences. So they have ready to wear, they have other accessories, they have umbrellas, they have shoes, they have sunglasses. Oriton really speaks for itself. So if you're interested in exploring some Australian luxury, Oriton would be a great place to start. Fourth category for me, and something that many of us love, is candles. Now, we have a specific Australian brand by the name of Glasshouse Candles. We tend to always showcase and refer to and, let's say, gush over the Glasshouse range. Now, Glasshouse has a variety of scents and fragrances. They've now launched into body care and body perfumes, body fragrances as well. But their candles are really, really well made. And every year they have a signature fragrance that they release at Christmas. This was gifted to me by a student just recently in 2020 for my birthday, and that's what it looks like. I have not burned it yet, but each of the Glasshouse candles come in a beautiful glass jar, obviously, with their own lid. Oh my gosh. Some are single wicks, some are double wicks, but the quality of the wax, the quality of the fragrance, the quality of the workmanship, everything really is top notch with Glasshouse. So this one here that I have, for example, is for Forever Florence, which is wild peonies and lily, and it's just beautiful. But Glasshouse is beautiful because it's not too unaffordable. I think a candle this size is about $50 to $60. Of course, they have the smaller ones as well. It doesn't compare with the diptyque prices, for example, but burning a Glasshouse candle and then, of course, you know, keeping the jar and reusing it for some other practical function just adds to that level of luxe, affordable luxe. Glasshouse is a great go-to as a gift, or if you're wanting to splurge and buy yourself something special. Now, my last category is clothing, and I really do celebrate a lot of Australian clothing brands. So some of you are probably expecting me to talk about shoes, but I didn't. This time round, I didn't talk about shoes. I really wanted to focus on some Australian labels, and one label in particular, which I consider luxury purely in the quality of its product, the workmanship, the design, the flair to it, the cuts, all of that. Now, Cameo started a few years ago in 2010, and I think I became familiar with them around about 2011 or 2012. I used to shop at a gorgeous little boutique here in Melbourne, but she's since shut down, and oh, it's so sad because I used to buy so many beautiful things from her. Anyway, and Cameo was one brand in particular. And now it's sort of like it's grown and it's expanded, and it can be found in places like David Jones and other retailers of a similar caliber. But basically Cameo, it's now called Cameo Collective. The logo has changed a little bit. I own about 3 or 4 pieces from their lines from different particular seasons, let's say. But their prints, their premium fabrics, they have a strong dynamic silhouette. They have strong edgy cuts. You know, cuts that stand out, that sort of speak for themselves, that are not just a carbon copy of a lot of other designer pieces, you know, the way Zara tends to function. But Cameo Collective, and then also I'll have some other brands listed or scrolling here on screen. You know, they really speak for themselves. They have their own identity and they produce clothing of beautiful quality. Each piece is beautiful, it's highly functional, and each collection focuses on a particular theme. So the beauty of Cameo is that as they release each season, you will find many pieces with a similar print or a particular color scheme or a particular cut. And I love that idea because they're not just producing ad hoc single pieces, they're actually producing a whole collection based on a particular theme. And that's really interesting to me because you can then buy multiple pieces and you can mix and match, or you can put them together to have one monochromatic or mono design look. So let me share with you a few pieces by Cameo Collective. The first one is what I'm wearing here. This is a silk shirt and it is a little bit sheer. It's got the black and white diamond design. The fabric on this here is almost like a damask, if you can think of that, like a textured thick satin cotton, and that's along the collar and down the front. The cuffs too, although I have mine folded up, this is a long sleeve shirt, but it's sheer. Now you can choose to wear it this way where it is relatively sheer, or of course you can wear it with something else underneath. You could wear this open because the buttons are covered, so you could use it almost as a throw on, so to speak. I've worn this to work, of course, with a cami underneath. Another shirt you will have seen, of course, in an outfit of the day video of mine is this one here. So this is a beautiful white shirt. It's a beautiful silk fabric. It's got this sort of, you know, swirl effect, almost like a silken thread. And it has the beautiful black collar, again with the covered buttons moving down. Gorgeous, the black cuff. Another top by Cameo, which I've worn also, is this one here. A lot of women at work have also commented on it. And this again is a beautiful thick fabric. It's beautifully fully lined inside. You know, it's really, there's no shortcuts taken. It's got a beautiful finish to it. It's just stunning, you know, and this was from a particular line. This was from a particular collection, as was the previous one. Just beautiful quality. Cameo is definitely a brand, an Australian brand worth exploring. So now I'm going to share with you 5 places where you can purchase some of these Australian products and other international luxe products as well. So if you're based in Australia, you're new to the luxury community, you're wanting to know where to purchase a lot of these luxury items, well, this is a list of only 5, but I'll have others listed below where you can purchase many of these items. So the first I'll mention is Harrods here in Australia. We have a store in the city in Melbourne, and they sell a gamut of all the European designers or international designers, as well as Australians. So if you're interested and want to see a physical store, Harrods is the place to go. Italist is a website from which you can also purchase a variety of international designer brands. There's also Raffaello Network. They have not as many, but they have a collection of about 8 or so designer brands that you could buy from their website. Rebans I have purchased from, and I have purchased both brand new and also pre-loved. Sometimes on Rebans, their pre-loved items tend to be a little bit more expensive, so it's worth shopping around, and I've never had a problem with Rebans. They do have an actual brick and mortar store in Sydney, so if you're based in Sydney, you can pop in and have a look, but I don't have access to that here in Melbourne, only online. Of course, we have David Jones. Now, David Jones, especially the David Jones in the city or David Jones online, does sell many of the international designer brands, as well as some of our beautiful Australian luxury brands. So that's a great stop if you're not sure what else to go to and you're needing a website or a store that you can trust. I'm going to throw in one other, just one other. Sorry, Dayle. But I'll also suggest the Iconic, because the Iconic is a website that has slowly grown over these last few years and is starting to introduce some designer labels. You won't find your Gucci's and your Pradas and all that sort of thing on the Iconic, but you might be interested in Ted Baker, or you might be interested in Tommy Hilfiger, or you might be interested in some of those other sort of contemporary, more affordable, somewhat luxury brands. So that's food for thought for you too. I will have another list linked below of other sites to explore. Well, guys, that was an epic video. A lot of planning and preparation went into this by both Dayle and I, so we hope you have found these interesting. And if you've made it this far, guys, leave me below in your comments an emoji of a little handbag or a shoe, because, you know, they're my loves. And I'll know that you've stayed through till the end, so thank you so much. Take care, everybody. God bless. Don't forget to go and visit Dayle. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.